Earlier today, Governor Babangida Aliyu gave an interview to Channels Televisions where he said, amongst other things, that Peter Obi doesn't have the name recognition to be president in 2023 and that perhaps in 2027 or 2031 he might become president. And he said that if he had stayed in the People's Democratic Party, that perhaps Peter Obi would have been today the vice presidential nominee of the People's Democratic Party. And I agree to that aspect, not the first, to that aspect with Governor Babangida Aliyu. When I was interviewed, I was in Canada, I think 3 weeks ago, I actually said the same thing, that Peter Obi is the candidate that would have best suited Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in the run-up to the 2023 elections if he had stayed in our party. And then in my column for this day, I think that was 2 weeks ago, I said, if this election were a jam question or a jam form and you have to fill out your first, second and third choice, my first choice would be Atiku Abubakar, my second choice would be Atiku Abubakar, and my third choice would be Peter Obi. And I had told him privately when we spoke, I told him privately that I was pushing for this ticket and it was our dream ticket. I mean, I just don't understand why you left. I know what he told me, which is not for public consumption. I also know what he told Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, which is not also for public consumption. But if you watch this interview, which you're going to watch very soon, of Babangida Aliyu, he does say there that a lot of us were rooting for it. A lot of us were rooting for it. Now, on the issue that he raised about Peter Obi not being popular, not having name recognition, I see a lot of people, on social media insulting, attacking, a lot of people just tearing Governor Babangida Aliyu to shreds. But you got to realize, he didn't come up with that question. That was a question that was put to him by the channel's interviewer, and he gave his honest opinion. Let's learn to accept people's opinions. We don't have to have the same opinion or the same agreement on everything. That's what we call harmony. If you, in a group, if you watch a music group, something like Boys to Men, each of them, they don't have the same kind of voice. So one of them has a baritone, another has a falsetto, another has a voice that is, just in between, but together they have blended voices, and that blend of the voices is called harmony. So we got to have harmony in Nigeria. Not everybody is going to support Peter Obi for president. Not everybody is going to support him for president now, even though they might support him for president in the future. So you got to take the bitter with the sweet and don't just come out all blazing, all insulting, all threatening, all abusive. Let us learn to make the political space as clean and as less toxic as possible. Now watch this video.
What's your thoughts on the candidacy of Peter Obi in the Labour Party? He was in your party
Peter Obi,
in the last
my
election.
Good friend, and a former member of my former governors forum, and a very excellent person, very, very excellent. His candidature in terms of the presidency, I think he will make some name now. If by that time we're old enough and around 2027, 2028, I mean 2027, 2031, he may be able to make it. But 2023, too early.
Because
people, even though the young people might go for him, not everybody is, the name is not dropping in everywhere else. But I doubt if Nigerians are ready for him now as a presidential person. I would have loved him as a vice presidential candidate.
if he was in the PDP now, would he be the vice presidential candidate of Atiku Abubakar?
Well, that is, how do you put it? Not speculative, because that is something that we have already passed that bridge. But believe me, many of us were rooting for him.
Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is